What's up, everybody? This
Hello,
is Sean
world.
Bird, and I am here with my friend Jared Wilson. He is a phenomenal musician. Some of you may have seen him on stages, touring with different artists, doing music videos. He's doing some wonderful things. He's based in California right now,
Yes, sir.
and he is a musician that I actually look up to. I know he'll talk about how I inspired him, but
Wow.
he does everything so well. He can sing, he can play the bass, he's a great drummer, plays keys, production, wonderful person. So he's going to share some musical insight with us today. I'm glad he's here in town. We're in the studio. Jared, talk to our audience, our Reveal Network audience.
What's up, guys? Jared Wilson, LA based, San Antonio born and bred. Here with my great mentor, Sean. Man.
It's an honor.
Man.
It's an honor that you would listen to me.
we've had some pretty cool memories from I remember going to Brady McElroy's shop with you for the first time.
Yeah.
That was really dope.
Yeah.
That was a really dope time.
Awesome.
That definitely put the bug in my ear for real. Like just being around like how the instrument was made, that definitely like changed, and it's probably ultimately why I've been able to succeed. Just being in that door and in that atmosphere and around you guys, like people like you, Alan's pops, man.
Alan Golden Sr. and Alan Golden Jr.
Yeah.
Man, two phenomenal bass players.
Incredible.
Now, you haven't been playing bass very long either, and you're playing on professional stages, touring around the world. How long ago was that when you started playing bass?
Probably, I think I got my first bass like as soon as I graduated high school, so like 2013.
Okay, so man, that's less than 10 years.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of work, though. I watched you from the beginning, putting in a lot of work. Just like you were good, like when you started off, man. It seemed like it.
It felt really weird to play bass the first time.
Yeah.
That first year was hard.
What are some of the things that were probably the most challenging when you started?
Honestly, like getting used to like moving around with the instrument and kind of being like able to be free with it, like being able to dance around and kind of move.
Yeah.
But like I guess like facility wise, everything came sort of simply. I mean, I had you to kind of break it down, so it was just really easy. Like after I just figured out like, oh, it's just something you should spend time with.
Yeah.
I just kind of just kept going, and nothing was ever hard. I would say difficult would be the word, like the degree of difficulty, like especially like when you're talking about like learning music and like being able to listen and hear. Like I want to say like I guess all the other things I did before kind of made even those things that would be kind of daunting to most people, like just getting a basic like rhythmic foundation down, like playing drums helped me out so much.
Yeah. Let's talk about that too, like rhythm and how important that is with playing bass.
It's huge. It's the most important thing, really. Like just having good time and being able to lock in with the drums, especially like doing a lot of pop music and a lot of R&B. Like that's the foundation. And if you're off, like everybody can hear it, and the song doesn't feel as good as, like, especially when you're trying to like recreate the record.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a that's a crazy one.
That I can understand that very much so, and I think that's another really good point too. When you said recreating the record, and just the fact that you know to even do that instinctively, I think that's something that musicians should always be aware of. I mean, even if you're just having a jam session and you're just playing and you're doing whatever you want, still in the back of your mind, there should be like a reference to the record of some sort, like a starting point, if nothing else.
Listen.
That's good advice. So what are some of the things you're working on right now?
Currently working on my own material, my own music. It's not all bass, and honestly, it's a lot more like free, like more orchestral and vocal driven.
Okay.
So that's fun. As far as the bass, I am honestly working through like the same sort of scale patterns all the time, like just regular pentatonic stuff, the major and minor scale, like trying to figure out how I can get the most out of those two things and like move them around, like. And then nowadays, I'm also starting to play a little bit more modally. So like just thinking around like the key center and the mode. So
let's talk about that more, because a lot of people ask that question on our channel. They ask about using modes, and I've done videos on modes, and people will ask about, how do you use modes in certain genres of music?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of confusion on the application of modes. But when you're talking about, playing modally, like instead of just playing a natural minor, you might use a Phrygian in place of it just to kind of get a different tension with the
Oh
few
yeah.
notes that vary.
Yeah, honestly, right now I'm even trying to break everything down a little bit more, like basically to myself. So like I'll use like the key center and just think of it as like the one or the two or the three or the four, and use kind of the number system to kind of
Okay.
cheat and kind of use it and like move it around in my own special kind of way.
Yeah.
And it helps. It helps me a lot. Like I know I can play like things that are out if I'm playing like the three over the one, which is really fun. That's
Okay.
probably my favorite.
Yeah. I like that as well.
Yeah, or just starting on like the seventh instead of the one, like to
Yeah.
get to play around the one without playing it.
Right. Exactly.
Like kind of
Man.
lead to it as well. That's really
Okay,
fun.
I like that. I might have to put that in my pocket.
It's
and
really
pull that
it's
back
really
out.
fun. It's really fun. I'll have to show you like the exact exercise that I've been using to do it too. It's really cool.
Very cool.
Damo was asking me about it the other
Okay.
day. It was pretty funny.
Now you got to say who that is again, Damon,
Oh,
so they know.
Damo Farmer,
That's
Damian
right.
Farmer.
He said that right. He said Damo.
He is the greatest.
He's
He is the
phenomenal.
greatest.
He's phenomenal. Great.
Him, his cousin Ethan Farmer, another great bass player for all young bass players to check out. He's probably like the greatest living example of funk right now.
I second that.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely incredible.
A couple of things I was thinking about too when you were talking about the playing. What would you say would be like for someone who's just starting out?
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of times guys will ask, well, where do I start? What do I begin with? Do I try this technique first? Do I need to work on this first? Like, what would you say would be like just for someone just starting out playing, like, what tip would you give them,
I would probably say start with like the fundamentals first, which would basically just be like strengthening of the hands. And honestly, that gives you a lot of facility really quickly. Like even just like, I mean, you told me to start playing shout music.
Yeah.
I still to
That's
this day
right.
will do that like the first I did it today, the first time
Okay.
when I picked up your bass. That's literally the first thing I do whenever I'm playing the instrument. And then like just maintaining that as you're building your practice repertoire or your practice routine, your ritual. Like just keeping like things like simple slides, sliding up a fret, sliding up 2 frets, sliding up a minor third, or sliding up sliding all the way up the neck. Honestly,
Okay.
that's probably what I would give to people at first, and then like play songs, like listen to music, listen to a lot of music with the bass in your hand. Watch your favorite TV shows like all the time, because you'll never know like what you'll be able to pick up. Like I hear stuff all the time, like where if I'm like sitting in front of the TV watching Naruto and it's like going to like the sad scenes, it's always like this.
You start scoring it.
Yeah,
That's
sitting there
a
with the
good tip.
bass.
I did a lot of the same things too when I started playing. I'd sit there in front of the TV and score every commercial or NBA basketball game.
Oh yeah,
Turn the volume down and play the action. Yeah, those kinds of things.
Play that.
Like he went around.
Three.
And
Three.
You start coming up with different ideas, but it does something to the creativity.
Absolutely.
And one thing I always try to encourage is just try things that will spark your creativity, things that'll get you out of the box of what you think your limitations are. Sometimes we get in a rut where we feel like, man, I can't get any new ideas. And I'm like, put yourself in a new setting. Make yourself do something different, and you'll hear different things.
Make yourself uncomfortable too. That's another tip. Like if you're like literally whatever you're doing and that you feel strong about, like try and focus on like your weaknesses all the time. Like that'll make you a little bit more like well-rounded, and then you start to look for more and more and more holes in your playing, and then you find them and they hurt a little bit. They're just like, oh man, I did that thing that I do. And then you come back a week later after you focused on it and you're like, I can now do this thing.
All right. Let's talk about preparation, preparing for a gig, because professionalism is something that we hear people talk about. And one of the things we discovered quickly is that people have different definitions of what that means, and you discover that when you're really on a professional stage.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about like your preparation process about learning songs and everything from learning songs to preparing like what you're going to wear if they don't have wardrobe there for you. Thinking about what you're going to wear, how you're going to present yourself, what time you're going to get there, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. A lot of times, I can start with the timepiece first. I'm always trying to be at least 30 minutes to an hour, like, early.
Nice.
Just so I can be there, see who's there, see like meet people. Like, I always try and greet the people at the front door and like be courteous and kind to everybody.
That goes a long way.
It does, and it helps people remember you. Like,
Yeah.
I can walk around in Hollywood and go to like any of the clubs, any of my favorite clubs, and like the bar guys and the security will be like, "Hey, what's up, Jared?" It's just my neighborhood now.
Nice.
But it's really funny. It's really funny. It's really cool too. As far as being prepped on like what to wear, a lot of times like it's literally just all black, like simple all black. Make sure you got black, white, your basic colors.
Can't go wrong with those. Right?
Yeah, like greens, reds, anything regular. Like up your tie game, ladies, bow ties, and all that extra stuff. Your beads and your bracelets, your gold. So you can make your all black kind of look a little spiffy.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's a
appearance
good thing.
goes a long way. People remember that. They remember how you look. I've done gigs where after it was over, the person that was coordinating will say, "Man, did you see how so and so came in? We can never call them back again."
Ooh.
So that's an important thing is just to consider how do I look. You might be a great player.
Yeah.
But if you're just not neat, now some gigs don't require that. They want you to look rough.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just knowing what the environment is, where you're going, preparing for that.
Oh yeah, definitely get a little cleanup. It's never too late, never too early. Get a little cleanup.
Yeah, there you go.
It goes a long way.
There you go. Keep some edges with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Keep your nails clipped. Everything.
Nails clipped, man.
Everything.
I've seen, cameras zoom in on the fingers on videos and people didn't keep their nails neat. I try to do that every Saturday night to make sure my nails look good. So Sunday when those cameras come on for TV, they don't catch me with the dirty nails.
You're not going to get caught slipping.
Right, or the broken off nail, when
Ooh.
You're looking at that in 4K, 8K. Yeah.
On a Sony Red.
Yeah, there you go. You don't want that to happen.
As far as like prep for the music, a lot of times I am, or at least more recently, I've been forced to kind of just be ready and like kind of keep myself listening to a lot of different music or a lot of like.
Say that again. Listening to a lot of different music.
Listening to a lot of different music just so like if I'm ever like I don't want to be completely blindsided by like a new chart or like a new piece of material, a new artist.
Right.
Like whether I have to play like something that's real slap and poppy or like I gotta play with like a sub bass kind of feel, or even if I'm playing key bass, like I gotta study like what the patch is, like how the attack is on the patch, how much of like this oscillator and this oscillator, like how much sub needs to be in that patch.
Right.
And I always try and be a little bit more like pronounced than what the record is. But I literally had a mentor that was kind of grilling me for the better part of a year, and he was like, "Man, like whenever you come in, you gotta make sure you stick out just a tiny bit. Like we just want to know you're there. Like I wouldn't call you to just only be the record. Like I want you to embody what it is and play the notes.
That's a good,
but be present. Like I'm always trying to figure out how I can really be present in the music, which is cool. Like play my part, but at the same time still be felt and heard.
Yeah, that's Jared, that's really good advice. I hope y'all are writing this down. That is really good advice. That is gold advice. That balance of bringing yourself to the record. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good advice. Let's talk real quick. Let's wrap up. Let's talk about some of the things that you've been doing so the audience knows where they can see you. So you just did a music video with
Chris Brown.
Come on,
that was
man.
Amazing, man.
That's
amazing.
Awesome. And I've seen you in a few others as well. Where are some of the places where they can see you playing?
This year I've done like Amazon and Twitch have a like a video series that they've kind of come together on. It's called Hello, My Name Is, and I've been blessed to do that with a group called 1500 or Nothing. Shout out to all the guys, all the OGs. You know who you are if you watch. So yeah. Uh, Other than that, last year I got to do Jimmy Fallon and
Yeah.
James Corden with Polo G. I got to do a couple of performances with Joyce Rice, and I'm always on the road. So um, yeah,
All right.
I'm always posting my schedules as well. So
So
you
give
know,
him the IG handle.
at Jared G Wilson 1R.
All right. And where else can they follow you?
Twitter, the same.
Same thing. All right.
Every platform is the same name.
Okay. Jared, thank you for hanging out with
Oh
us and
man,
sharing some information.
I'm honored to be in here. You guys got to listen to this guy though. He's the greatest.
Oh, come on, cut it out.
The greatest.
Keep it
It's the little hand. It's the little hand.
No, really, no.
I love it.
Man. Hey, thank y'all for hanging out with us and watching. Hopefully, there's some great tips in here that you guys can learn from, that you can use. Jared is a great inspiration. I'm glad that you're here hanging out with me and that you're in town for a little while.
Oh man.
We're going to miss you when you take back off to go back to do some work, but we're glad you stopped in to share some information with our audience. Love you guys. Continue to follow, like, subscribe, comment below if you have any more questions for me or for Jared. He's a good friend, so I'll text him and see what he says back.
Oh yeah.
Peace.